We come to verse 41 of the 7th chapter of the Gospel of John. At this point, Jesus is in the midst of a conversation both with religious leaders, but also the crowd who was there in the temple area on the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles is participating as well. And you see the evidence of a divided opinion about Jesus. Of course, the religious leaders had one perspective on Jesus, generally speaking, pretty hostile. The crowd has a divided attitude, so you find some people who are placing some level of faith and confidence in Jesus and his claims. Others are more skeptical. In the previous verse to this one, we have some who are asserting that Jesus must be the prophet, that famous character that Moses had predicted would come eventually sometime in the future. Another leader, something like Moses himself. From the New Testament point of view, certainly Jesus fit that bill, but he was much more than that. And it seems that others in the crowd were beginning to speculate that that might be the case. So we have here, beginning with verse 41, aloi. This is from allos. It means another. This is the masculine plural nominative, so others. Elegon, from lego, I say. This is the imperfect, third person, plural, imperfect active indicative. Others were saying, and then as if to quote them, hutos, demonstrative pronoun, masculine, singular nominative. This or this man, esten, from ami, I am, third person singular, present active indicative. This man is ho Christos, the Christ. And so while some were saying he's the prophet, others in the group were saying that he's the Christ himself. Hoi, this is the article, it's the masculine plural nominative, and it's used in a rather idiomatic way here. The, da, postpositive, but, the, and then elegon. Again, same word as here from lego, they were saying, and the use of the article in this case is a little bit truncated, but the idea is some were saying this is the Christ, but then there are others who are more or less responding to that, this soft conjunction, and they were saying may. This is the negation, usually used with non-indicative moods, but here it's simply a way of raising a contrary opinion. So may, gar, for not, ek, preposition takes the genitive. Tes Galileos, from Galilee, from the Galilee, literally, it's the genitive, singular, Galilee, but not from Galilee, ho Christos, same as here, the Christ, erketai. From erchomai, I come, third person singular, present active indicative, as if to say, but wait a minute, you're saying that this is the Christ, but the Christ does not come from Galilee. And of course, they're relying on that famous prediction from the prophet Micah, the very verse that, of course, that was quoted to Herod when he had asked where the Christ was supposed to be born. And that famous text points out that it would be Bethlehem. Of course, they're ignoring another text that you'd find over in Isaiah, early in his prophecy, which indicates that the regions to the north were going to experience a great light, that Galilee of the Gentiles was going to be the place where you would have this illuminating effect of the Christ. And so even they are not looking at this as carefully and as deeply as they should. But the point of all of this is simply to say that you've got a divided opinion about Jesus. People are not quite sure what to make of him, and that's essentially what John wants to leave us with based on the description that he's providing for us here.